Hey, what's up, YouTube? Brett and Bordy here, back with another New World video. Today we're going to go through Gathering, Bordy. One of my favorite things in New World. I love the sounds of Gathering, and it sounds like Gathering is going to be a worthwhile activity in New World.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a fun profession or fun life skill to have in the game, no doubt.
So just a friendly reminder to you guys, we don't have a lot of footage to go over because the game is still under NDA. So we're going to go through the guide for you guys, and later on, of course, we'll have wonderful Gathering footage to share with you. But Bordy, let's hop right in here with the tool. So every Gathering profession in New World requires the use of tools. There are several tools used for each Gathering profession. So fishing pole is used to fish. Logging axe is used for logging. Pickaxe is used for mining ore. Sickle is used for harvesting plants, and skinning knife is used to skin animals. You can obtain tools in New World in one of three ways. First, you can craft basic tier 1 tools at your camp. You can craft higher tier tools at a forge in a settlement using the engineering crafting skill. And you can purchase tools at any time on the trading stations and settlements. Once you have the tools you want to use, then you would right-click them to equip them into your inventory and make that your active tool. Once you have one of each tool active at any given time, there's no need to swap tools. Basically, every time you walk up to a tree or a node of ore, it's just going to automatically whip that tool out for you. So tools can be crafted with perks, which include a durability increase and gathering yield increase. Durability increases the durability of the tools and reduces the time required between repairs. Yield increase is the amount of the primary resource you gain, for example, wood or iron. Bordy, so why don't you tell us about the different tiers of nodes in Gathering?
Yeah, man. So the tiers of Gathering tools follow the same 5-tier progression as other gear in the game. So tier 1 is going to be your flint, tier 2 iron, tier 3 steel, tier 4 star metal, and tier 5 orichalcum. So whenever you have better tools equipped, that's going to increase the speed of your gathering, and you can check the tool's gathering speed by hovering over the item and viewing the detailed information about that particular item. So obviously you want to have higher tier tools to increase your speed of gathering. And then whenever you purchase a tool of a specific tier or craft a tool of a specific tier, make sure you check the gathering speed before you purchase or salvage that tool, because as I mentioned before, every tool has a different gathering speed on there. So some are different. You want to make sure you're getting one that has a good gathering speed on it for that tier of tool. So the tier of tool also determines which resource you can gather. So if you have a higher tier tool and the higher level gathering, the higher tier resource you can gather. So you can't go gather like orichalcum with a flint axe or whatever, or a flint pickaxe, and your gathering skill also has to be high enough to go gather that node, obviously. So Red, where and how can we find the resources, man?
Now you can find resources all over New World, and by the way, guys, we're on New World Fans right now checking out this guide. We also have an interactive map to help you find all of your favorite or new favorite Gathering paths in New World. We will be updating the map with all of the nodes once the NDA drops, of course, guys. So if you're a gatherer, you should be over on New World Fans with that map open, checking out what's the most efficient way to get whatever thing you're trying to gather. Also, when you open your map in game, hit the M, you can click resource locations on the left side of the map. This will give you a specific location, or this will not give you a specific location of resources, but will provide you with a general guide as to where to find certain resources. I think it shows a different shade of color where you might find wood or something like that. Once you reach a certain level in a particular gathering skill, you'll be able to track resources. This means that you can see the resources icons on your compass if you're close enough to the resource, so you can easily find the resource to gather. Obviously, it can help out, but I think the map is very useful.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have to second that sentiment. So as we talked about before, there are gathering skills. That's what we're talking about here. So there's 5 different skills you've probably already gathered by the 5 different tools that you have to use: fishing, logging, mining, harvesting, and skinning. And as you use each of the skill, you're going to gain experience and progress that skill's level. So the more you use it, the higher your level is going to grow, So higher levels of gathering increase the percentage chance for special resources when gathering, and increase your speed of gathering, as we mentioned before, along with the tool. skill that you equip. That also affects your speed of gathering. So in order to view your level in each trade skill, you're going to press the default key of K in game to open up your skill menu, and then you're going to be able to see the logging, mining, fishing, harvesting, and tracking and skinning there as well. You'll be able to see your level and how much you've progressed there, and you can click on those to get further detail about that particular skill. So progression with the gathering skills is capped at 200. So you can essentially max all of these out at 200. So there's certain level points at which you can gather certain items. So for example, orichalcum, the highest node of ore, it can't be mined until you hit 175 mining. It cannot be tracked until you hit 200 mining. So tracking resource means, as Red mentioned before, this can be visible on the compass at the top of your screen. So Red, take it away with fishing, man.
All right, this is my favorite gathering activity, dude. Fishing. Fishing rods in New Worlds can be crafted using the engineering skill tree. There are 11 unique perks that are exclusive to fishing rods. Your ability to find hotspots increase with your fishing skill. So once you've crafted and purchases a fishing rod, you can then fish by equipping the rod and then going by a nearby body of water. You can fish in either fresh or salt water. Once you found some water, walk up to it and press F3 to pull out your fishing rod. That's the default key. And then you can left click to cast your rod and begin the mini game that's kind of associated with fishing. Where you fish and what type of bait you use will determine what fish you catch. The fish can be cooked or used in a recipe of sorts to make food, obviously. So hotspots allow you to catch better quality fish and range from broad hotspots to secret hotspots. That's exciting. Your ability to discover and track those hotspots is relative to your skill in fishing. Again, as your skill increases, you will hit level milestones that unlock new discoverable hotspots, dude. And there are some like secret, like rare fish and monster type of things that you can catch in fishing. So I'm excited for fishing, dude. I'll probably spend some time doing that once I get max level.
Yeah, same. Gathering in New World overall is just a lot of fun, in all honesty. They've done a fantastic job with the gathering in this game, and fishing is no exception. It's actually quite good.
The mini game is a ton of fun. You guys have to try it out for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So the next one we're going to talk about is logging. So in logging, you can start off by gathering young trees. They're gatherable at level 0, and you can't ever track young trees. They're literally all over the map. Everywhere you go, you're going to find a young tree. So they're very easy to get and cut down. So the mature trees, they're gatherable at level 50, and those are also never available to track because they're all over the place as well. So then you have your weirwood trees. They're gatherable at 100 and tracked at 125. That's going to be like your tier 4 trees. And then you have ironwood. They're gatherable at 175 and tracked at 200. That is going to be the rarest and most the highest level of tree that you can find in New World to cut down and to utilize. So logging is probably one of the easiest skills to level, simply because there are a ton of trees all over the place. Tracking down the higher level trees can be a little tricky because they're not as abundant, but there's so many trees all over. So it's going to be one of the easier skills to skill up in the game.
Well, dude, and I love the idea of like, walking by a settlement and having like all the trees deforested. Yeah. And so basically, really the trees are gone for a minute. So it does look like, really cool. Like there's some industrial things going on around those settlements as people trying to log. So I love that, bit of detail from the logging gathering skill. So here's mining. Another thing that I'll be doing a ton of because I'm going to be using heavy armor, Bordy. I'm going to make my own. Mining is used to mine not only ore, but stone, oil, gems, and alchemy stones. Gems are a random drop. Gems are a random drop while mining and are used to slot into gear. So stones are used for stone cutting, of course. Regular stone is harvestable at level 0. It's very easy to find. It looks like stone, so you can't miss it. Lodestone is harvestable at level 105 and is tracked at level 155. I believe it has like a gold-looking appearance to it, so a little bit more stand out than the real stone or the other stone, the basic one. So metals are used for armors and weapons, and these are pretty familiar. Iron can gather at level 0 and tracked at 25. Silver is gatherable at level 10 and tracked at 35. Oil which is a little odd. It isn't necessarily a piece of ore, but you can gather oil at 20 and tracked at 45. Gold is gatherable at 45 and tracked at 70. Alchemy stones are gatherable at 50 and tracked at 75. Star metal is gathered at 100 and tracked at 125. Lodestone, like we mentioned before, is gatherable at 105 and tracked at 155. And then platinum is gatherable at 110 and tracked at 135. And finally, orichalcum, right?
Orichalcum
is gathered at 175 and tracked at 200. Alchemy stones can be found scattered around the map. Obviously, we have this on our interactive map as well. They do follow a pattern. For example, you will find more earth stone around earth mobs and more water around like rivers and lakes and stuff. These can be found in all zones, of course. And those are a newer feature, Bordy. Those weren't in the preview event. There's something they've added through these patches in the alpha. Are these, like exotic, they used to be plants and now they're stones. So.
Yeah, they've changed quite a bit in the way of gathering and crafting for sure since then. So the next one we have on here is harvesting. So harvesting is going to be used to gather plant nodes in New World. So there's 7 types of harvestable plants. You have your farm plants, your hemp, your fungi, your magical creatures, your magical plants, silkweed, and wire fiber. So your farm plants are going to be gatherable at 0 and tracked at 20. Those are going to be things like your corn, your potatoes, your any farm plant that you can gather. Your hemp is gatherable at 0 and tracked at 25. Your fungi is gatherable at 0 and it cannot be tracked. Magical creatures gatherable at 0 and tracked at 175. Magical plants gatherable at 30 and tracked at 45. Silkweed gatherable at 100 and tracked at 125. And wire fiber is gatherable at 175 and tracked at 200. So fungi are harvested and they're used to create dyes in the game. So New World doesn't have like a transmog system, or at least not yet. Maybe we'll get one later on down the road, but maybe so. There's not a transmog system, but you can dye your armor, and it's a pretty robust dyeing system. You can dye just about every aspect of your armor. You can mix and match dyes to make different colors. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to find fungi out in the world. Then you're going to bring it back and you're going to craft some dyes, and it's a little bit of a process. And then you can dye your armor. So then hemp and herbs, they can be found in forest and grassland biomes. They're plentiful near Windsward, and typically where you can find hemp, you're going to find herb close by, and vice versa. These are tracked at 100. So farm plants, crops can be found in farms around the map. So each farm has a different type of crop, and you can check out our map on newworldfans.com, as Red mentioned before, to find your specific plants that you're looking for your cooking recipes. And then we have our magical plants and creatures, and these nodes follow the same logic as mining nodes. You're going to find them like water plants near water, earth plants and creatures near earthy forest areas, etc.
Yeah, and guys, this is a lot of information. We realize that we want to get in video form in case you wanted to consume it here. But if you want to like kind of go through the levels in which you get to track these and gather these things, they're all up in this guide over at New World Fans. So go check that out. I think is a lot of good information there as well. The last one we have is skinning. Once you kill an animal, you can then skin that animal with a skinning knife to obtain raw hide and raw meat. You can also obtain feathers and eggs from turkeys. The ability to skin certain level of animals is tied to your tracking and skinning level. For example, if your skill level in skinning is 0 through 10, you can skin creatures that are level 1 through 10. And if your skill level in skinning is level 100 to 103, then you can skin animals level 25 and below. Tiers of leather are defined by the level of animals harvested. For example, if you 35 plus level animal is going to be tier 4 leather. So that means level 50 plus would be tier 5 hide. Bordy, let's take it away on how to level gathering in New World.
Yeah, so gathering is pretty easy to level in New World. It takes a little while to do it, but in order to efficiently level a gathering skill, you're just going to need to spam farm the lowest resource tiers with the best tools you can find, and you can use at your level. So low resource tiers are the easiest to find and the fastest to gather. They're not going to yield as much experience, but you can chop down a tree incredibly quick or go harvest a small animal incredibly quick, and you can still get a little bit of experience there. And you can find every resource in Aeternum, again, using the interactive map, dude. But make sure sure you get bigger bags as you level so you can carry more weight before having to return to town to refine or sell the materials. That's pretty important there too. As you level, you're going to be able to increase your inventory capacity by buying bigger bags. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Yeah, inventory management is not a strength of mine. I will mention they do have bags that specialize in carrying certain types of material. So you may get a bag that, helps the weight of ore or et cetera, et cetera. So, there are lots of cool things you can do as a gatherer. And you can deck your guy out in armor that is specific to gathering a certain type of resource as well. So, dude, I think crafting people and gathering people are going to have a ton of fun in New World, min-maxing all this stuff because...
Absolutely.
Not only...
The attribute points as well.
You get attribute bonuses from them, gear, obviously. And then, dude, just the idea of... going out there and just hitting that piece of ore with the pickaxe, dude, is so satisfying. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, man. I don't typically gather in games, but I am going to do in New World because
there's something about it. It is fun to do in New World. It really is.
Sure. Again, guys, don't forget to go check out New World Fans for this guide in its entirety, as well as the interactive map that we've been mentioning. If you're a gatherer, dude, you're going to want to pull the map up. So thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Hit the subscription button, the notification bell for more New World content like this, and we'll see you in the next video.